Most gyms are losing sales and they don't even know it. I'm Jeff Burlingame. I have been mentoring and coaching and working with thousands of gyms over the past 8 years. And here's the cold, hard truth. Most gyms don't have a leads problem. They have a leakage problem. In other words, leads are coming into their funnel, but they are losing them at multiple points throughout that funnel. And in this video today, I want to talk to you about the 5 crucial areas where I find most gym owners are losing those leads before they can become a client, and sometimes after they become a client, aka churn rate. So let's get into it. Listen, I get it. Most gym owners, in fact, most business owners, regardless of industry, automatically believe that they have a leads problem. What I have found, though, from working with thousands of gym owners and business owners outside of even the fitness industry is that it's not really about the leads. It's actually about their sales funnel, the process. And in fact, I use a simple diagnostic tool before I work with any gym owner so that I can better understand exactly what is and is not happening and where the leaks are within their sales funnel. I call that my sales funnel RX. All I have to do is take a peek under the hood, secret shop a gym, take a look at their website, and dive into their systems, and I can tell them exactly what is going wrong and where, and then how to fix it. Most commonly, we find that the problem areas are people, processes, or technology. Pretty simple. So as long as I pinpoint which area it is, then I dive in a little bit deeper and I find out exactly what is not happening or what the issue potentially is, and then we correct it. So let's get into those top 5 areas that I find we have problems. First, let's start out with some top of funnel technology. So we're up here at the top. The first thing that people are going to come across when they go to book a intro session with you or a sales opportunity session with you is most likely the website, or it's going to be some form of social media. So whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, I don't care, wherever it is that your content is being posted to draw people in, they are likely still going to funnel through the website. They're going to want to learn more. They're going to click the link in the bio. You're maybe posting a link in your stories and they're clicking through that. Ultimately going here, especially if they are local, if you're a brick and mortar business, they have to learn more about you. They're also probably looking at Google reviews. So if you don't have any, get those too. The point is, most likely they're going to end up on your website in order to book that free intro session or this sales opportunity. Now, you might be surprised to hear that this is still a problem area for most businesses, even in 2025, which is kind of ridiculous considering technology keeps escalating and people are learning, and everybody knows that the website has to be simple, clear, and functional. And yet I keep coming across website after website that has a slow to load video, no clarity. I can't tell you what it is that you actually do after I go to your website. It's unappealing to your ideal client profile, and it's not easy to book. All of these problems are tech related and simple to fix. You just have to make the fix. And I highly recommend you do. Even if you have a super simple website, as long as I can tell what it is that you do, it's perfectly clear, and I can book an appointment really fast and easy, we're in a pretty good spot. And the last thing I'd recommend is just make sure that your booking functionality is good and that it lives above the fold. When we talk websites, when we say above the fold, we basically mean when you land on a website, whether it's on mobile or on a desktop, it's at the top of the page, right? So as soon as you open your screen, if I go to a website on my phone right now, I'm gonna pick on my old gym because I love these guys, but if I pull up Friction Grand Rapids on mobile, what do you see right at the top? I don't have to scroll at all, right? The free intro button is right there. It's also important they have a lot of calls to action. So button, 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 look at that. And that is what you want to see on a website, whether it's on mobile or desktop. And it needs to work that way, ideally on both. But assume that 80% or more of your traffic is probably coming from a mobile device. The second problem area that I run into with most gym owners is a process issue, and it relates to outreach after they book this appointment. So we're kind of chugging along, working our way down towards the mid-funnel area. They've gone to the website. They've asked for information, they've clicked learn more, they've clicked contact us, they've filled out a form, they've done whatever, right? Ideally, they've booked an intro appointment. So if any of those things happen, the next problem area that I run into is that we don't do good outreach, right? And what do I mean by outreach? I mean personalized outreach. I'm not talking about automations. So if they fill out a contact us form, they might get an automation that says you'll be responded to in the next 24 to 48 hours. If they book an appointment, they might get an automatic reply that says, thank you for booking an appointment. We'll see you on this day at this time. That's a great start. However, it's not personal, and people need personal. Keep in mind, we are living in a trust-based economy, and now more than ever, people are skeptical, especially of gyms in the fitness industry, because there's so many. And if they're over the age of 18 and they've most likely worked out at more than one location or one gym or with one personal trainer, they've probably been burned before too. So we have to keep that in mind too. So with that, I will have much more trust if you reach out to me personally rather than relying on either AI responses or automated responses. Here are 2 things I recommend to every single business owner that I work with. Number 1, send a personalized voice or ideally video message to every lead that books an intro. They've taken this big leap of faith. They've booked an appointment with you. That is no small amount of courage on this person's behalf. And you should also take some small amount of courage and take that next step as well. So they book an appointment, I grab my phone, I get their name, whatever information I have, I pick up the phone, I turn on the camera app, I go to video, selfie mode, and I just talk to them for 30 seconds. I might say, hey, Mrs. Jones, I see you just booked an appointment with us. I've got you down for Wednesday at noon. I am so excited to meet with you. I can't wait to find out what type of goals you have that you're hoping we can help you with, and I look forward to meeting you then. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I didn't script that. I just made it up while filming this video, and you can do exactly the same thing. It's not that hard. It's just scary. So pick up the phone, record yourself, send that message. The worst thing they can do is be like, ugh, gross. And guess what? I have done this with thousands of businesses, and that response has never happened. If they've booked an appointment, it's going to be fine. You're the one that's scared. They'll be okay with it. Send the dang message. And if you're that scared about video, just do a voice message. It's still personal. It's still real. We're not at a point where you couldn't tell if that's AI or not. They can tell it's a human being on the other end of the line. The second thing I would recommend is that you send them something of value, ideally some sort of a PDF, one-pager, or guide. And this could be a simple nutrition hacks, top 10 tips for vacation survival mode. It could be 10 workouts you can do on a busy week. It could be 10 hotel workouts. It could be whatever, just something that you know about. I mean, you're in this industry, you're a coach, you have this knowledge. Take that knowledge, put it into a one-page PDF, add a couple simple graphics, or don't, doesn't matter, and just give that to people. Just give it away for free. You're adding value, and it shows them that you care and that you want them to have some quick wins up front, and that's gonna give them more trust. That trust level starts going up. They feel better about meeting with you and showing up for the appointment. If you have an issue with show rate, this is something I have found to work really well. Had to clean up my funnel a little bit there. It was getting kind of messy. So moving on to number 3, the third problem area that I run into with gym owners is the actual intro session itself. Whether you call it a free gym intro or a no sweat intro or whatever it is that you call it, it doesn't matter. This is your sales appointment. Now, there are a number of things that can go wrong at this point, and I see it all. So I want to go through some of the most common things that I run into when it comes to the actual intro session. Probably the biggest thing that I see is no-show responses. I want you to think about this. And if you're guilty of this, that is okay. I have been in the past too. I find way too often that gym owners especially give up on no-shows. Can't show up for me? Not worth my time. What does that mean? You don't know what is going through this person's mind, what's going on in their day. If they're just busy, maybe they forgot. This is, keep in mind, a lead who came to your website, who filled out a form and booked an appointment, who you sent a personal outreach to, who is now booked for this appointment today and just didn't show up. And we just give up? Leads are not free. This is my point, that you don't necessarily have a leads problem if you are getting people booking and then just not showing up and then you're giving up on them. That's a lead. You just gave up. And now we want to go hunt down somebody else? We're going to send out another 50 to 100 cold DMs until we get another lead in the system and then potentially give up on them? This is the thing that drives me nuts. Okay. So if you're guilty of this, that's okay. All you got to do is stop doing that. So one thing that I work on right away with this, which is kind of a process and a people issue, is I work with teams to make sure that we are never giving up on leads. You could have a lead in your funnel kind of going back and forth, booking, not being the right time, not showing up, booking again, and eventually they could sign up. This could be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Is that worth it or not worth it? If all we have to do is send simple outreach, just a quick text, a quick email, and they say, put me in for next month. Hey, this month's kind of crazy. Let's do next month. Let's do back to school time. Let's do after the holidays. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We have this lead. Why give up on them? Just keep pushing until you get to a point where it's the right time, it clicks, they book, they show up. And along the way, make sure we keep providing them with value. So I'm going to send them any new guide that comes up. I'm going to make sure they subscribe to my newsletter, they're on my YouTube channel, that they're getting whatever content I put out there that I think they would find value in. They keep interacting with that content. Eventually, we're going to make this work. The number 2 most common problem I run into is the actual flow of the sale. What is the process you are following? What is the outline you are following? Do you have a script? Are you following that script? Are we going off script a lot? Is that script effective? Is it efficient? Is the outline you're following effective or efficient? Like the only way I can know this is to actually see what you're doing. Oftentimes I'll watch a recorded call, listen to a voice recording of an in-person sales opportunity. At the very least, I'll look over whatever document it is that you're using or notes app that you're following, or if you're just writing on a good old-fashioned pen and paper. I want to see what questions you're asking during the sales process. I want to know what checkpoints you have. I want to know what you're achieving during that conversation. And ultimately, I'm going to compare it against best practices that I have found to work over the years within the fitness industry. Namely, I need to know if you're coming up with SMART goals, ideally 3 of them. If you're going from those SMART goals to the emotion built into the sale, what I like to call desire, and then if you're finding urgency, real urgency, not fake urgencies. So I'm not talking about getting to the price point and saying it's $2,000 and only if you sign up right now. If you sign up tomorrow, it's $3,000. None of this, quotes are only good for 24 to 48 hours. None of this, we only have 3 spots remaining. None of these blunt posts, I'm looking for 3 dads looking to get in shape and spots are filling up quick. None of that. That's all fake urgency. People see right through it. If I came to you after you signed up 3 dads and I said, hey, I just, decided that I could potentially do this and here's my credit card, you would probably say, sure, you're in. Most of us are not in a position right now where we can just send business away, okay? And then the last thing that I'd be looking for from the sales outline is your effectiveness with handling objections. Now, ideally, I'd like to help you prevent objections entirely by providing you with my sales outline, the objection prevention system, which has a specific flow that helps you build rapport, gets you SMART goals easy, gives you key questions to unlock desire and emotion, gives you the easiest way to unlock urgency, real urgency, and overcome objections and hidden objections early on in the sale before you tell them how much it costs. Because as soon as you talk price, all of this becomes 10 times more difficult. So if you're using the ops system, you're going to be in a good position. If you're not, I'm going to compare that against what you are doing and give you recommendations based off of that. That brings us to problem area number 4. So we did the intro. If you've done a sales appointment, there are only 2 things that can happen. Don't fool yourself into believing there's a third option. Either they buy or, wait for it, they don't buy. That's it. It's the only 2 things that can happen, because don't buy includes no and or maybe. One of the worst words that you can hear in sales. If we go to buy, they buy something. They join your gym. They sign up for personal training. Maybe they do 1 session. Maybe they sign on monthly. Maybe they end up joining your group program. Whatever it is, they are now in your ecosystem and they are paying money for it. On the other end, they're not paying money for it. And worst case scenario, they're out on a limb after seeing everything and we don't know when, if, maybe they'll sign up at some point. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But that's just the thing, because this right here is my 4th problem area. I see too often gym owners, and I've worked with plenty of businesses outside the industry and this is happening there too, but too often gym owners believe that a maybe is a no and they give up. What did we talk about earlier with no-shows? We don't give up on no-shows. We don't know what's going on with this person in their life. You are not a psychic. Maybe you are. That'd be surprising to me. But most likely you're not a psychic. So you don't know what's happening in their life. You're not going to stalk them and figure this out. So if they say maybe, in other words, I need to think about it, and they walk. I need to talk to my spouse, and they walk. I'm going to do this, but I need to start in 2 weeks, and they walk. We don't give up. So what do? Similar to no-show, this is simply a process and a people issue kind of combined, because we need to have a process that maybe has some automation. Something like a long-term lead nurture email sequence would be good, especially if you can include additional guides that get dropped on them, say monthly, if it's like a month-to-month email drip campaign. Maybe YouTube videos, maybe unlisted videos that you're not currently sharing publicly, but that you would share because they're high value. These could be seminars. Maybe you've done a nutrition seminar, you recorded it, it's an hour long, packed full of value, and you upload that unlisted to your YouTube, and then you can share that link with them via long-term lead nurture sequence, right? So it drips out to them 1 email a month, and they may turn around and say, what have I done? I should have signed up for that gym, and come in. I've seen that more often than you would believe, especially if you're a person who believes that maybe is a no, then you probably don't believe me at all. But why waste the opportunity? That's what it comes down to. You have a lead. They've gone through all these steps. They've jumped through all these hoops. You spent time with them during a sales appointment. You already put work into this. Do we accept $0 in return for our investment? Or do we invest in an extra little bit of time to try and make that maybe a yes versus letting it linger forever, inevitably making it a no, because you never go back to them? Look, at the end of the day, relationships are everything. And we do also have to keep in mind, I love the analogy of asking for the sale on the first appointment is like asking to get married on the first date. Sometimes people aren't ready for that level of commitment, and that's okay, because after sharing a ton of content with them over the course of 1, 3, 6, 12, 24 months, at that point, they feel like they know you. They've gone through your content, they've tried things from your guides, they've hopefully seen some value from that, maybe some return on their investment of time in the form of accomplishing some level of results. And at that point, they're now invested and they get more excited to potentially work with you. And as long as you are the person hitting up that inbox, there is a chance that they'll come sign up with you. And if you don't hit up the inbox, then the other person that's doing so, the other gym around the corner who is hammering them, cold calling them, cold DMing them, they're now going to be top of mind and they'll go sign up there. So just stay after it. All right, so that brings us to the 5th and final problem area that I want to go through in this video today. And that happens after the sale. So they bought, right? We dealt with this, now we're dealing with this. They bought, now what? What is the process that goes on now? Because another way that we have sales leakage is actually post-sale. And it could come in the form of a few different things. It could be a full-on refund. Ugh, gross. We got cancels, and then we've got the dreaded MIA member. So 3 things can happen after they buy if they don't stick around. The 4th thing would be they actually stick around. So 4 things can happen after they buy. They either stick around, they demand a refund, they cancel within 3, 6, 12 months, whatever it is, or they just disappear. Isn't that the worst? You sign somebody up, you don't see them for 6 months, and then you get a refund or a cancel request. That's no fun. So, got to ask you, and I want you looking into this, what is your onboarding process? What happens after they sign up? First of all, when they sign up, is it an easy and intuitive process? Is it pretty quick, painless? Or are you demanding a whole bunch of bank account information, having them fill out a huge profile, download 3 apps, and get things going? That is painful on the consumer side, so you're making it hard for them to be a member. Instead, consider making it easy to be a member, easy to process payment, easy to make monthly payments, and maybe limit the apps to like 1. That'd be good. Still engaging. We shouldn't need all of this extra stuff if we can help it, okay? Internally, you guys can have all the apps you want. That's fine. On the consumer side, try to keep it as simple as humanly possible. Once they process that payment, Do you send out a welcome email? Congratulations. Do we celebrate them? Do we welcome them to the community? Do you have a private Facebook group? Is there a way that they can easily be integrated with the community? Do you buddy them up with a coach to help them through their first 1 to 4 weeks? Do they get a welcome kit? Do they get some branded apparel, maybe a gift water bottle or a protein shaker? Do they get a discount on supplements? I could keep going, you guys. There's plenty of other things that we can do, and there's a ton of best practices that are available out there that have been shared publicly. They're in Facebook groups for gym owners, and they're all over these different books by gurus in this space. That said, I recommend you come up with your personal flavor. What works best for you? What is your staff on board with? What do you enjoy doing? And what do you find works the best for you and your community? You have to document this process, and it needs to happen exactly the same every single time. Otherwise, that's a process issue. And if it's not happening because the person in charge of this isn't doing the job, then that's a people issue. And then, of course, onboarding being intuitive or non-intuitive could also be a technology issue. So just keep track of what's going on and what's missing. Another powerful addition to the onboarding process would be booking them in for one of two things. Number one, they should be getting a 90-day goal session. This has been around the industry for a while now, but not everybody is doing this, and I am still baffled by that. Goals change. You have to follow up on that. So you did this intro session, you came up with 3 SMART goals, awesome. Do they achieve them? Do you track whether or not they achieve them? After they achieve them, do they make new goals? Because if they don't, things get boring. And when things get boring, I quit. I have to have new goals. My goals have to be ever changing. You should be checking in at a regular cadence, usually around every 90 days. Sit down with them. It takes 5 to 10 minutes, and it helps you keep a client. So you have to ask yourself, what's my client value? What's my LTV, my lifetime client value? And is it worth me spending 15 minutes every 90 days to keep that number going? Or is that actually a waste of time? I'd be surprised if you said it's a waste of time. And the other thing that I would focus on that I find to be extremely powerful is that you have to have upsell opportunities. So just like goals change, as those goals change, you have to make sure you can keep up with them. To keep up with them, we can't necessarily keep doing the same thing. Definition of insanity. So if we're trying to lose 100 pounds and we're just doing group workouts, it'll happen eventually, but if my nutrition isn't aligned, it's gonna take forever. So perhaps you should have an upsell to nutrition coaching. If not by you, it could be by a local RD. You could work with a local nutritionist. You could work with a local company, whatever it is. Find somebody, but ideally this would be in-house, just so that you can continue to increase your revenue opportunities as well. Another great upsell would obviously be personal training. So if I am really struggling with a couple of movements, I need to really get some one-on-one attention. There is no way that you should be doing this in class. If I have 12 people in class and I just focus on one person, that is not fair to the other 11. Therefore, this person should be upsold to doing personal training with you so that they get that one-on-one attention, and then your members don't resent them and you don't resent them for giving away tons of extra free time and potentially pissing off all your members. Instead, we can keep them happy, increase revenue, and get them the best possible results. So make sure you have upsell opportunities built into your business. They have to be there. All right, so there we have it. Those are the 5 problem areas that I find most gym owners have had sales leakage within that sales funnel. So if you believe that you are losing leads at some point in this process, or you're losing clients after they buy, and you're struggling to find out exactly what is happening or not happening, and what process, people, or technology needs to be improved, then you might want to consider doing the Sales Funnel RX. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to shoot me a message or drop a comment below. Happy to help out with that. And of course, I want to give you all the content you need to support you in this role as well. So make sure you go to my website, coachburley.com, and you can download all of my free resources. It's all on there. It's yours to have. And it'll walk you through some of these problem areas, as well as that full intro outline, the objection prevention system that I talked about. So you can have that whole outline and just start implementing that on your sales process right now as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button. Be subscribed for more content like this. I drop 1 video every single week on Wednesday. Otherwise, I hope you're having a great day and hopefully a killer revenue month. And if not, plug up them leaks and you're gonna have a good time. We'll catch you guys on the next video.